Hey guys, it's Chelsa Messenger with Picks and Parlays. We're talking NBA action, Suns at Grizzlies. It's President's Day week, which means we've got a nice little code for 20% off the entire site of picksandparlays.net. Use the code USA. We've got an advanced line on this one where the Suns are favored -2.5. I'd imagine that line probably goes up, probably around 5 or 6 maybe. Suns been pretty solid this season at 17-10, both straight up and against the number. Meanwhile, we've got the Grizzlies who are 12-12, 12-11-1 against the spread. The advanced line on the total, 224.5. We've got Lee from ASA here to break this one all down for us. Lee, what stands out to you about the Suns going up against the Grizzlies? Excuse me.
Well, I think it's going to be a pretty good matchup. Both teams are playing the second night of a back-to-back, both playing their third game in 4 days. Phoenix has had a little bit better success in that particular scheduling situation. If we just dial it back here a little bit, when both teams are playing the second nights of back-to-back, Phoenix is 6-1 straight up and against the spread this year. They've won those games by an average of 9 points per game. Memphis, on the other hand, 2-1 straight up and against the spread, but they have a negative differential of minus 1.3 points per game. If we talk about offensive efficiency, Phoenix, and defensive efficiency, Phoenix is top 10 in offensive efficiency, at 1.136 points per possession. They're 7th in the NBA in defensive efficiency. There are just 2 teams in the NBA currently that can boast being in the top 10 in both offensive and defensive efficiency. It's Phoenix and Utah. And, it could be argued that Utah is the best team in the NBA right now. Memphis, on the other hand, they're 26th. They've got the 26th worst home point differential in the league at minus 4.9 points per game. They're 24th and 26th in offensive efficiency and defensive efficiency at home. They're 27th in the league in field goal percentage defense. They allow 48%. That's bad news against a Phoenix team that's 10th in the NBA in shooting at 47.5%. If we look at their last 10 games, the Suns have been at home for a large part of that. They are playing tonight, Friday night, but they took Brooklyn to the wire. They beat Philly. They beat Boston. They beat Milwaukee in their last 10 games. Compared to the Grizzlies, 3 wins in their last 10 games at home: Oklahoma City, Sacramento, and Charlotte. So I wouldn't be afraid to bet this game up to 5. If the early projections of 2.5 is off, I like the Suns minus the points in this one.
Right. As you mentioned, the Suns do have several signature wins over really solid teams. Another trend I notice is the Grizzlies 6 straight overs for the Grizzlies. And then you've got the Suns who have overs in 4 of their last 5. So any leanings on a total, it's looking like 224.5, but obviously that's pretty advanced. Any leanings when it comes to a total?
If that were the number, 224, which is right now the current league average for an NBA game, I would probably trend towards the over, especially with this being the second night of a back-to-back. And Memphis's defensive efficiency numbers are not good. And like we mentioned, the field goal percentage defense. So I would probably lean towards the over if it does come out at 224, right around 224.
Right. Suns definitely one of those teams that a lot of people are picking to maybe make some moves out in the West. Chris Paul's made a huge difference out there, whether it's facilitating and having all those assists or just in general having a leadership perspective out there, because they do have a lot of young guys, Ayton and Booker. Yeah. They kind of needed another piece to kind of bring them all together, and I think Chris Paul has done a great job of that. Anything else you think bettors should know before betting on this game? Maybe you think anybody's sitting out for the second game of back-to-back?
Well, that's the key. So I would be sure to check the starting lineups for both teams, and we're basing this on all the regulars playing in this game. And you brought up a great point. With this being the second night of a back-to-back, Phoenix is a much deeper team than Memphis is right now. And so when you get a fatigued situation like this, playing the second night of a back-to-back, it's got to favor the deeper team.
All right, well, that's going to do it for our NBA talk here on Picks and Parlays. Great stuff from Lee from ASA. Lee, thanks for joining us.